remember things. It's more than just void, darkness, unconsciousness. The mind does work clear out images, patterns, things to recollect. It's not just the long, deep sleep that comes when the fear has left. The cold is felt, the slipping away of feeling is noted and then succumbed to. The mind functions. Time is distorted, jumbled, telescoped, accordion, but there is a sense of time, even so. And I remember things. I remember the way it began. I remember the way it was in the beginning.
Daddy, I think he's lost his mind. He's never been like this before. Tonight he was almost raving.
What did you say?
Oh, crazy things. That he's some kind of a spaceman and that they're taking over the Earth and that we're all going to die.
Why are we doing this, D.L.?
I guess it's important. It's to log in to have a record of us
that we existed.
That we exist.
Hold on, wait. Just don't steal the mic yet. I'll do a.
You have to move closer to me. I know you don't. It's just the.
That's a good shot.
Okay.
All right. So hey everybody, it is March 12th, 2022. I'm your host Michael O'Toole here with Experimentally ILL. It's our podcast talking to artists, entertainers, all over the place here in New England. Check us out, experimentallyIll.com. And we have a longtime favorite of the show, artist D.L Polonsky is here.
If you wanted an example of the lighting and the placement of figures that I hate the most, this is the shot.
Yeah.
This is one to avoid if you ever worked with me.
Yeah.
This is the one that would make me the most.
Well, how did we get here today, DL? Are we allowed to say where we are, or it's a secret location?
We're in Alston.
We're
in Alston.
Okay.
Yeah, and we used to make films on video, and I can't do. I feel like I can't do it as much because of the age and the pandemic. So we're trying to make a little video, so we'll feel like we're being productive again. Yeah.
And I guess we're doing a podcast.
And we're doing a podcast for your tens and tens of viewers.
I forced you into doing it.
And that's good. It's good. I just don't want to bother to edit this.
Yeah.
So you can edit it.
Yeah, you don't have to edit it.
And
do you want to talk about? You have the floor, DL.
I already talked about stupid politics. I don't have anything else.
Do you want to talk about pop culture stuff, about movies and stuff, or?
I want to talk about how hypocritical people are, and they tell you to, like, I don't know. The world is really fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're here. We'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
No, you've always been, because you're also a writer, and I know you don't want to do it anymore, but I really liked your blog that you used to do.
Thank you.
Where you used to.
You're the one who likes it.
I was the one diehard fan, and because you also used to read the blog on stage at the Golden Sounds rock show that Brookline Access Television used to do.
And at Midway Cafe and a couple other
And it was
places.
sort of like commenting on sort of the minutia of your life and sort of talking about the harsh realities of
full of minutia, huge globs of minutia.
Yeah.
So
you should get that checked out, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Is it more minutia for? Do you accumulate more minutia with age, or?
I'm working on an 8-frame cartoon.
That's too close.
I don't know if I should show it just because we haven't.
Just because you have a visual element going at the same time.
But you shouldn't show pictures.
Plug your Instagram page.
I don't know what. That's the one I don't know what my username is. Look up D.L Polonsky on there. Twitter is more important to me. Twitter. I don't know what is a D under. No, it's D underscore. It's DL under. No. There's two of them, and they'll go to the really old one. I don't want to plug that.
Okay.
My name is D.L Polonsky.
Let me hold the mic, D.L.
Just look. Just Google that. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I hate this fucking background.
It's not. DL was very earlier. He recorded on his own. You did like sort of a monologue.
Yeah, when it was still daylight.
Critiquing Trump.
I could.
And you had the lighting. You said you wanted lighting like on the cover of a sci-fi movie,
like on the old Lost in Space, where they have an edge of like warm light, and then 3/4 of the face has cool light on the other side. And and the sci-fi things do that too. Yeah.
So when did you think you got influenced by that from all the like TV you used to watch growing up, or coming from a family of artists?
A better way to light people. I hate when they have light like this light,
like the harsh, bright light,
flat, harsh light,
hospital light.
No shit. Yeah.
But at least we can see in here because usually we can't.
But this background sucks. We have the bottom of the shade. I want to make sure there's no lettering. I don't want people to read over there.
Yeah.
And
at least you didn't write your social security number in big letters in the back this time.
Don't even talk about the word social security.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
What about your social security?
Yeah, it could be mine.
Yeah.
I forgot. I printed my address on the back of your shade last time, so we got to cut it. Cut it out. Yeah. Throw in shade.
Social insecurity.
Yeah. It was insecurity.
So.
So it's good. Is it good to be? I don't know. Maybe you don't. But you made a lot of movies.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's good that we're being not too counterproductive.
Yeah.
We try
counterculturally.
Can you? Yeah. What else do you want to know?
What's your deepest and darkest fear right now, DL?
Well, it's not hilarious, but being buried alive, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
You asked for it.
I know.
You actually asked.
And that's our
it's
our
a grave
contract.
mistake to be buried alive.
Yeah. I know. People shouldn't ask questions they don't want to hear the answers to, I guess.
It was stupid on the show Monk when he was buried alive and it made him happy.
Yeah. Because he wanted the relief of the torture.
He was talking to his ex-wife and imagined that he wasn't buried alive. So.
Oh, my God.
So,
that's one of your favorite shows, right? Did you want to talk?
I used to. It's kind of stupid sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no one cares what my favorite show is. Nobody.
Do they care about? Well, you can complain about Trump on here too if you want to. Because isn't that a lot of your artwork is political cartoons and stuff, right?
He's really bad. I guess I should get the big time cover. I'm sick of that thing.
That's one of your famous pieces. You don't have to hold it up, Theo, because we can cut it. You can cut into it if you want, or you can see it on your D.L Polonsky Instagram page.
I think it's D.L Polonsky. Just look up D.L Polonsky on their search engine. Something will come up. So.
Yeah, and that was because didn't he tell me the trivia about the actual Trump time cover, right? Didn't you say there was all kinds of weird things? There was like devil horns.
Yeah, Trump actually wanted to the M in time to look like devil horns behind him. Some people don't believe me when I read that. Maybe that's, he wants to be evil. I'm sorry, it's true. He wants to look like Hitler. He was copying a famous pose a famous pose that Hitler did with that kind of a chair, and he was trying. It doesn't matter though. Mm-hmm. So
it's like if you're not going to be like people want. Like if it's really inflammatory, it's like somehow flattering, right? Because you're such a focus. Like Trump wanted attention at any cost, almost, right?
Yeah.
So.
He should be. I mean, everybody knows he should be deported or go away or something.
And you took, I think, that art to a couple of protest rallies, right? Didn't you take it on the subway and stuff?
No,
But there was some kind of art you brought out.
No, I just put it up at Starbucks, leaned it against my chair, and let people see
Did they gawk at it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made that big. All right, we're talking about a sign that you can't even see now. So this sucks.
Well, what about? Yeah.
What are you up to?
What am I up to? Well, I'm helping you do this.
Yeah.
We're spreading your legend, and I've been taking several screenwriting classes through Grub Street.
You don't want to talk about any family.
Do I want to talk about my my family? How messed up my family is?
Yeah, you're being like really helpful to your mother.
Oh yeah, that's
Should I not talk about that?
No, we could talk a little bit about it.
All right, I won't name names or anything.
Yeah.
Your family could be just a tad more supportive.
A tad more involved.
A tad less monstrous.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. That's good.
Yeah, a tad less sadistic.
Just a tad less.
A tad less O'Toole-ish.
Yeah, that can be such an O'Toole.
A little less O'Toole-esque.
Right.
That's all.
If they could offer some moral support or emotional support.
It only offers oral support, talking.
Rather than just be the packers and the movers of my mother's items. That could be good, right?
Yeah. And so, they pass the buck on to you, and you have to do everything.
Onto me.
Yeah.
No, my mother had
those independent living places, of course, are like zoos, even the good ones sometimes.
Yeah, assisted living.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with old people. Our country doesn't know what to do with old people, and I'm getting old. Yeah. They don't know. The old people are like babies in a physical sense because they're physically a mess. They're wonderful people, but they're a mess physically, and there's no easy way to deal with them.
Yeah, there always seems to be a short staffed at these places to kind of fill in the gaps of care for people.
Yeah, it's partly the pandemic, which is dissipating, but those places aren't always so they're fairly incompetent to begin with. Mm-hmm. So it's always a combination of everything, and it's hard to get anything done. There's a lot of BS and red tape, and when you try to help them, you have to do a million forms and online forms. And
I experienced like working with sort of like I'll just say generally like kind of a social work team. I experienced some of I think a lot of things as far as writing and the things that you talk about in your commentary has always been about sort of how people can kind of manipulate each other with words or language, and sort of these errors in communication that we have, and sort of people not understanding different like social rules and things like that. And you always think somebody.
The whole world is based on misunderstandings. That's why almost all fights start from misunderstandings or the language not being at all accurate.
Well, like you talk about the family stuff, like a lack of empathy too, like trying to put yourself in somebody else's shoes.
Being unself-aware. Why is the light flashing on that?
Yeah, it always flashes to let you know it's on.
Okay. Mine doesn't flash.
But. Yeah, no, you think like, I mean, there are definitely some people that stand out and are in the right profession, but working with a team of like social work people, I get a lot of unreturned voicemails and a lot of unreturned emails.
I guess our lighting on us is pretty good, but it's a crappy background. Mm-hmm. It's a really crappy background. I'm just saying it because people are looking at it right now. So, yeah. But the lighting, I guess, is okay. Mm-hmm. So, but
we can get a green screen back there. That'd be like old school.
I'm not doing this in a studio. I'm doing this in a tiny studio apartment.
It's a studio apartment.
And there's more objects in here than there is space, if that's possible. Yeah.
I've seen it's not as cramped as I think you think, though. I think I've seen worse.
Yeah, but people don't usually make movies in those rooms.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I don't know. I'm getting old. I'm 61. Mm-hmm. There's things I don't want to talk about. I have a following on social media with my artwork. Mm-hmm. I do artwork because it's too hard to make movies like this, or ones that I used to do that are scripted with plots, and it's a lot easier to. You need hardly any money to do artwork. Mm-hmm. I know it's not as good, but it's all I can do generally. And this is unusual that we're even filming this.
Yeah.
But
you did make. You made several movies using cable access TV stations.
Cable access, and
which is kind of how we met. And
yeah, but I don't want to just promote them. Let's talk about people are they are assholes.
Let's talk about how people are assholes.
People are,
We asked you what I was doing. I've been taking several screenwriting classes.
Talk about you
at Grub Street.
Hold the mic.
Well, no, but you're the guest, right? You were talking about trying to get back to doing some video projects, or I like to try to interview you. This is a rare occurrence that we get you in person for an interview lately.
And we actually have two cameras, but they're almost in the same angle.
Yeah.
So
right.
it's almost pointless.
Well, mine's a wider one. It's the GoPro wide angle.
It's probably better.
So
yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I at the risk of sounding conceited, I think maybe more should be happening in terms of promoting my art, because I post like 400 to 500 posts a week of my art, and nothing.
And Twitter,
ancillary. They're called ancillary activities, like people interviewing me, except for this, and I don't get in any articles. Everything is social media over and over, and it's better than nothing. But I wish somebody would like write a book about Twitter artists or something, and
try to get in some of the bigger, more like traditional forms of media,
or interview me. No, I don't like, at least on a local TV show or something. But that's life.
Yeah, but you have got some high spots, like just from Twitter.
Nancy Sinatra's following me, but she's just a celebrity. That doesn't make her any better.
What about more modern people like Tony Todd from Candyman?
You're not going to edit this.
I could edit it out if you want.
Okay, you never will. You hardly. Nobody knows Tony Todd except you and me.
That's not true. Okay. That's not true. He has a long autograph line at Comic-Cons, and you have to pay extra money if he wears the Candyman costume.
Well, he retweeted 128 of my cartoons so far.
Wow, I didn't know there was that much. 128.
Wow. Yeah, and I have a friend who says, "So what? It's not John Cusack."
But you also have
John Cusack did 3, and then he stopped.
Yeah.
Nancy Sinatra never did any, but she's following me. This guy, Lord Sugar, funny name. He's a British magnate who had a bad history with Donald Trump. Did $250,000. That's the only time I got a really big amount of views. $250,000 for my Trump Time cover. So.
You must also have hit up like some of the late night shows and stuff.
Yeah, nothing happened. Yeah. That's their loss.
Yeah, exactly. We have to talk about the things that have happened if we need for content
my failure,
purposes.
One failure after another.
But you also, what I'm trying to, maybe we can like turn these shoots into, is you did talk about the short movie you did called Blit that was sort of like a...
That was 11 years ago. And it won a national award in Hometown Video.
That was like kind of a day in your life, kind of based off the blogs you were doing, right?
Yeah, it wasn't very completely realistic, but it was.
But that was kind of funny.
Toward humor, yeah. This guy started and ran out of time, and I finished it. He didn't have time to finish it. Yeah, but now I'm doing artwork all the time, so. So I know it's not as fun as making movies, but that's what I'm doing.
But I know because we always talk about it. For people who don't know, like you come from like a family of artists, and you kind of did movies as a kid with your brother, right?
Yeah, so. On Super 8 and stuff. And
you know what? The new thing we could talk about too is that came out is the new Super 8. Was that did he film it on Super 8? What was the movie with John Hartman that you were in? You played the villain.
What did they? He looked like film, some kind of 16 or something. Hippie Shoot. Yeah, it was just my face with all this glock to make me look like I was burned.
Burned by acid or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It looked pretty good because he used good lighting. The shots where you see it frontal like this.
Something we don't have here. He's comparing this to... This is not cinema. I have no delusions that it's cinema.
Yeah.
But...
It's enema.
Master of puns.
It's actually pretty good lighting, in most people's opinion. I hate that kind of lighting, but it's just the background that sucks.
It's serviceable for what it is.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with ourselves that we're doing as much as we're doing, so I think we're in the right direction.
Well, I started it.
Yeah, that's right.
I got the ball rolling.
You always inspired us.
No, you started it by you telling me how to use
by pestering you.
Yeah, that was good.
That's right. D.L was having a camera issue, and I said, "Have you looked it up on YouTube with the tutorials?" And so he sent him a link to it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So John Hartman, our buddy filmmaker John Hartman, who does like Super 8, Super 16.
Yeah.
Well, he's a professional acquaintance of yours, I guess. How was he? It was him, and then our friend Caleb, I guess, also helped. you never got to meet. It was like an ensemble cast. You didn't get to meet the rest of the
anyone
cast.
but Caleb and John.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
They just inserted you in.
Ooh.
Right.
That's
But didn't you? What was the makeup like? Because I remember you saying like when you wish you could do makeup because when you were a kid you used to do like old age
makeup. It was too hot in there and it kept sliding down, and they decided too late to turn on the air conditioner or open the window or something. So it didn't look very good, but the lighting made it look not too terrible. Mm-hmm. But John Hardman thinks it looks terrible.
I think he was just making a joke about that.
No,
though.
I think he wouldn't say it.
Well, I think like that's the lesson though to like take away, and also our friend Rod Weber who had his documentary 2020 The Dumpster Fire came out, which he's also kind of on the political scene doing activism stuff. Yeah. The idea like filmmaking or bust, you know, is like there's a million technical issues that come up, especially if you're like a one-man band or just two people like we are, and it's really difficult, but we have to keep going ahead. Like run into an issue, you want to have something a certain way, but it doesn't work, and so you just have to change. You just have to pivot and try to keep going, you know. Yeah,
I agree. That's right, Mike. That's right.
That's right. Let's focus on you.
I want to focus on me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just making artwork, and it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you watching any good shows? Not The Big Bang Theory?
That's not a very good show. You pointed that out.
Yeah, that's where we differ.
Yeah, I just like the feel of the show. I know it's stupid. I just like the nerd camaraderie and.
You like Sheldon Cooper, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm like him in a certain
kind of like
in a few ways. Yeah,
he's like a germaphobe.
Yeah, and neurotic, but I'm not as conceited as him. I think.
Yeah.
I'm too good for that.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
But do you like sometimes when you see? I know, like sometimes.
But they're right.
Sometimes it's like played for laughs, but when you can see yourself kind of represented on screen, like there were some things, not everything, but some things you liked about the show Monk, right? Because you could kind of relate to some things.
Sick of it later. At the beginning,
because you said they only one time did they say that he has obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah, they thought it would be cool if they never flat out said it. Like it would embarrass people. They're not ashamed of it, but they don't use it too on the nose or something.
Right. But they do show him going to a therapist and stuff like that.
Yeah, they never have him. They never say OCD. They never say
like germaphobe.
They did once on a show within the show, like a hard copy show inside the show. Mm-hmm. But they never say OCD ever once in the whole show. Mm-hmm. Also, it takes place in San Francisco, and they never had a single gay character in the whole show except one-time characters a few times.
Mm-hmm. So did you want to talk about any of that stuff as relates to yourself? Gay or OCD?
I always put gay with another thing.
Like what?
Gay and mental illness.
Like that it's so inspirational that you've overcome both?
Have I overcome gayness?
I don't know.
Overcome.
I mean,
homophobic.
No.
Don't ever overcome.
Don't ever overcome. ...
It's full of.
This is an adult show.
Childish adult show.
Yes, it's a juvenile podcast, as we know.
Am I looking down too much?
You're always looking down on me.
Because you're so
right, exactly. Right.
We joke like that.
Because we're friends.
Yeah.
We overcame both. I think like that's the narrative today is like two guys trying to make something and despite problems.
And the world doesn't exactly help. Yeah.
The world is not the most helpful
thing to do that. They just say, you have to make films. God gave you a gift. You've got to make films. But they don't help you to do it.
Right. They don't give you any money to do it.
Any money, hardly ever. Yeah. They say, God gave you a gift and you cannot squander it. You have to do it, and all those stupid platitudes. But it would be good if I could do it, but I don't have to do it. I stopped making films for 11 years. The sky didn't fall.
That's the story, though.
It would be better if I made films, but I can't. I don't have to. Yeah.
We're trying to inch you out of retirement, right?
I have one foot out of
the grave.
Out of the grave. I was going to say that.
Okay, sorry, I stepped
up. Door and the other out of the grave.
Yeah. One arm in your backpack.
Yeah.
And one on your waist pack.
Yeah. Okay.
That was in Blid. Put on my backpack, put on my waist pack, and left the apartment.
Yeah, that's the same.
But no, I mean, I think I think it's cool because, like you were saying, we were trying to encourage you to do it, but then that you just took it, you know, took your own initiative to start doing it today, earlier, like before I came. So
yeah, I thought it actually looked pretty good with the daylight coming in and the yellow light on the other side.
Yeah.
So I tried to do it first, and sorry you couldn't be involved in most of it, but
that's okay. As long as we got you going with it,
and you're motivated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Right.
You do video podcasts, or is this it's usually just audio?
It's usually odd audio.
Odd audio.
But we have been taking video.
Instead of audio syncrasies, it's video syncrasy.
So there could be some video coming out in the future, or in some sort of documentary format, I guess.
Format.
So.
Oh, format. Okay.
Don't be a doormat, D.L.
Or matador.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the wrong matitude.
Platitude.
The puns are getting worse.
Yeah.
When was your first introduction to puns, D.L.? That you really knew that you had to...
What's gastronomical in Pig Latin?
I don't know.
Astronomical gay. Isn't that smart?
Wow, that's very clever.
Yes?
Yeah. I have like experiences in my writing class where I'll put something like in the narration, like I fall in love with my own work, so I'll think like, oh, that's so clever, and then they will like. There'll be someone who will be like 20 and won't like know what I'm talking about. Like I realized I said it wrong too. I think I meant a see and say, but I said a speak and spell. Like I was trying to say that the guy had like really crappy audio on his production or something. Yeah. And so I was trying to say it sounds like a speak and spell or something. And then, which I think it should have been see and say.
Stop and shop.
And then somebody was like, they didn't know what a speak and spell was. So
boy, was your face right?
Yeah, right. As I said, well, you always say specificity in the writing, but if you get so specific that they don't know what you're talking about, and you've lost the audience.
Don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Either.
Well, that some people think like in order to appeal to more people, you need to be as like broad as possible, but that's not really the case.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
No.
There's someone out there who will relate to your plights of rearranging your vitamins or whatever. Wasn't that in Blit, or didn't you mention that?
I arrange my vitamins in alphabetical order because I'm neurotic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I said that in the wrong order.
Right.
Trash is ashtray in Pig Latin, and wonder is underway.
Yeah, that's good.
I try to, when I go to sleep, I try to think of words that are other words in Pig Latin.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Words that are other way, yeah. Is that a topic for therapy?
Or palindromes.
Yeah, that's right.
But if they get good, I have to get up and write them down because I can't remember all of it.
You really, like, you're trying to drift off to sleep, and that's, for those who don't know.
And then I turn on a big glaring light and write them down.
A light like this? We brought a softbox today.
Yeah, softbox.
For DL.
Mama's got a softbox. Daddy won't. That's really suggestive.
Yeah, softbox.
It's erotic. Okay.
It's neurotic. Is it erotic?
Daddy won't sleep. That's an old song before your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're falling asleep and you think of a palindrome, which didn't you almost get into the Guinness Book for the longest palindrome?
It didn't. It was the wrong time of the year for it wasn't during publishing season, so they just gave me a stupid little piece of paper, which I lost.
A certificate.
Yeah. It was an.
Which I blew my nose with.
Yeah.
But that was for those. It reads the same backwards as forwards.
Yeah, and it's 19 pages.
Mm-hmm. It's a 19-page.
Pages, not words or sentences. Pages. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a long pound.
Wow. How did you know then what the longest one was? Like what you had to compete with?
I didn't. That's why they overtook it. It was the longest for a few months and never got in. It's pathetic. Go talk about something else.
You want something less pathetic? Do you remember? Well, I mean, you seem to forget. Like
I taught Eli Roth, and people seem to care about that.
Yeah, Eli Roth, the horror movie maker.
Yeah, I guess I'm jealous of him.
He was also the bear Jew in *Inglourious Bastards* that Quentin Tarantino directed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bear Jew, that's an expression.
Right. Something like that. That's what he's referred to in the movie. So
that's his name in there. Jew Bear or Bear Jew or something.
Yeah, something right? Yeah.
Psychosim.
He had like a baseball bat that he beat up the Nazis with in the movie.
Yeah. and he was in a tuxedo, acting weird. Yeah. I don't know how. I think my teaching him hardly made any change in his life. I think he might have done that anyway.
Okay, but don't minimize your influence on him, because he did pop on your Instagram and he remembered you.
Wow, he said. He said he's good. Yeah.
No, but because he was. He said something like he was like 10 years old when he took your class or something, right?
Yeah.
But what was that? Was it really like a class? Like, were you offering some kind of like formal course?
I was trying to, but they just wanted to sit around and do nothing, or watch MTV, which had just become the new thing.
Yeah, which dates it.
Yeah. So a lot of time we were just sitting around watching MTV, and once in a while we made films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you make like a werewolf movie and stuff?
Yeah, I gave it back to him. I don't have it.
Yeah. When did you give it back to him?
Way before he got famous.
Before that?
Yeah.
Don't assume that he won't hear this, though. He should say some nice...
He's wonderful. Yeah.
He said something like he remembered there was like a film you made or something called Faces, or he remembered a couple...
Clickwork Orange. Yeah. And I did The Grapes of Roth. And
wait, it was with him in it? 'Cause he's Eli Roth?
No, I just animated some grapes he had in the refrigerator, and Clickwork Orange, I animated the orange.
And that was the name of it, Grapes of Roth.
Yeah, but it was underlit in only like 8 seconds.
Okay.
So it's not worth talking. None of this is worth talking about.
But it was about. Well, it says you. I mean,
nothing is worth talking.
The historians say different.
Yeah. Okay.
Our tens of fans.
If anything matters, this matters.
Doesn't this matter more than like? If it wasn't recorded, like we could reach tens of people this way, rather than like normally. I've been coming over off and on for about a year, half a year, where I come and we just watch other movies and talk about. We could make movies, or we could do a podcast, and we haven't. So this is a big milestone for us. That we're actually. It's
a big millstone.
It's better than a kidney stone.
Yeah, I have kidneys. I can talk about that.
Yeah, if you want to talk. I never know what's too personal, but you'll always tell me if you can't talk about it.
Well, it's
too graphic.
It's just incredibly, horribly painful.
Wasn't there an episode of Married with Children where Al had kidney stones, or not?
No, he had a circumcision by accident.
Oh my God!
They were going to give him a circular incision, but they gave him a circumcision.
Yeah.
And
that's one of your favorite shows, Married with Children.
And then he gets turned on, and you can hear a little twang as the stitch breaks.
God!
And then Peg says, "I got to get the couch reupholstered." If you can follow that. Anyway, that was a good show. What
happened? Has David Faustino ever responded to your cartoons on Twitter or anything? Wasn't he following something?
No.
Okay.
John Cusack retweeted me, and who else? The people I already told you.
Yeah.
I sent it to Biden, President Biden, and Don Jr.'s page. I better not. I Don Jr. was talking about that book, that horrible book about his horrible father, and promoting it. And I said it ends at chapter 11. You know what that means, of course. And it got retweeted by. It got reposted by Huffington Post.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I got like 8,000 views. I wish it was my artwork and not just some joke I made.
But you should do more like the editorial kind of writing. Like, didn't you got a couple of letters or something published in some papers and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's the yin and yang of UDL is like you want to get.
It never happened.
No, but and that's the exception to the rule, right? That's why we celebrate when something does take off.
Yeah.
Right? Or like you always say about
I'm a
fame.
legend in my own mind.
Right?
It's an old joke.
Right?
Yeah. I'm an old joke.
I didn't say that.
That's self-defecating humor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you used to
shit on yourself.
We got to do like the greatest hits is like because you were the MC of Karma Comedians.
Yeah, they should have done more than 3 of them.
At the Brookline Access TV station.
Yeah, it was just taking off.
It was just taking off right when they decided to cancel you.
National.
Yeah.
And
then you don't seem to really include like in your history like you've did a bunch of our radio show episodes when it was in the Weekly Dig office.
say anything bad about Lawrence. I shouldn't say anything bad about Lawrence.
Well, Lawrence was encouraging us today to.
He
had a legendary conflict with Lawrence, right?
Lawrence was encouraging us to do this.
Yeah.
You called him and he encouraged.
Well, we were going to do it anyway, but he was pushing for it to happen too. I mean.
This thing, okay.
Well, yeah, and that you were he was excited that we were thinking, if you're doing anything that's close to making movies again.
If he didn't like what I said, he's turned the audio off. That's fascism.
Yeah.
And he's this is slander. I cannot talk about Lawrence.
Okay. Something happened I can't talk about.
There are some things about him that some people like. It just happens to not be
things that you like.
in my wheelhouse. That's the word people use.
It's just not my wheelhouse.
Yes.
And I think also
people who find him very tolerable.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Since those episodes, I think he's tried to retcon that and said, well, he was just trying to, amp it up for the radio or something. And since then...
Not all of it was on the air, though.
Right. Not all of it. The kickboxing wasn't on there.
Sticking his feet an inch from my face.
Yeah, right.
Who doesn't love that?
Who doesn't love that?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what I do notice is that, because he also there's some footage from you from the early BATV when it was in the school.
Yeah.
When it was the Access Channel. It's you and another friend of ours. And then there's also an episode of our friend Quincy Briscoe's show, Quincy's Perspective.
You can't mention Andy McBain. You were going to mention Andy McBain.
I can mention Andy McBain.
Maybe he'll come out of hiding.
Was the front man of the rock band Tunnel of Love. Yeah. And also the newer one is the Monsieurs. Yeah, they opened for the Foo Fighters, I think, when they played at Fenway a few years ago.
Yeah.
So, but they were on there, and I do notice that a lot of that footage that has been passed around was kind of popular on Reddit. It was the conversation between you and Quincy on his show, Quincy's Perspective. But a lot of the older footage, like 2009, 2010, of you and talk show stuff now, the common theme is what we can hear in the footage, why are we here right now? ... Lawrence is forcing us to do this was the common thread in it. So I think
a lot of trouble just getting there in the morning. I remember I had to take 4 trains to get there. Why did I even do it?
Usually
I must have been desperate.
You were young and needed the money.
Yeah, I was middle aged and I needed I don't think I needed anything from that.
Yeah, but that was kind of our hangout at the Access Channel.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that's kind of what I've been doing some writing about too. Good. But my point is just as far as getting even creative projects done, or I think we'll never be totally comfortable we always have to push ourselves. If there's not somebody to push us, we have to push each other to do it.
Yeah, over a cliff.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, okay.
That's not what you want though, DL, right? You're safe. Right?
Yeah, I shouldn't. That was a bad cliff note.
That was a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
We could leave you on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What were some other? Did you have any pressing matters you really wanted to get out? You were just bitching about Trump again earlier today.
He's not president anymore, but he's got too much power. He might run again. Why isn't everybody terrified? And why isn't some?
Maybe we have to get you. You have to try to audition to become a game show host, DL, because that's what Trump. He ended up president after being a game show host.
He wasn't a game show host. He was a reality TV show.
Right. Yeah. But it wasn't kind of like a game show in a way. It was.
I guess. So. Yeah. I hardly ever saw it. Yeah. It was a horrible game. Yeah.
Didn't they have somebody else filled in after that? Didn't Schwarzenegger fill in or something?
I guess. I don't know. I don't care, but I know you don't care that I don't care. So I don't know.
So you didn't want to talk about the stuff with the Weekly Dig? Is it even still around? I guess those alternative weekly.
They don't have artwork on the cover anymore anyway.
That used to be the big thing, right? Is which local artist was on the cover of it?
But they don't even have art on the cover very often now. So I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So
because people locally in Alston, Mass, they might
use me. I don't know if it's a combination of things that are not good reasons. Mm-hmm. But this has nothing to do with anything.
Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about, DL?
No, nothing.
Did you see any? Have you seen any good movies lately? Any?
Don't Look Up on.
Oh
Netflix.
yeah, I got to see that. We'd be able to.
Yeah.
We could talk. We'd have to talk about it.
Yeah.
What was it commenting on? Give us a capsule review of it.
People know what it's about.
We don't know how D.L Polonsky feels about it.
It doesn't matter.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
It was just.
How did you see it though? Isn't it on Netflix? You don't have Netflix.
House, somebody's apartment who lives down there. Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It was kind of not so great.
Yeah, that was one of them where like the critics didn't like it, but audiences seemed to like it.
Yeah. I didn't.
What was it about?
People can find out what it's.
The general.
There's a big comment coming, but people are so delusional from social media that they don't know when something is actually a reality, a danger.
Yeah.
And so they act like it's just a joke or a style, and it's not a real physical thing that's going to destroy the planet. And but there's more to it than that.
So did you like that? It seems like something you might like a little bit.
The way they did it, I didn't like it much.
Yeah. But
it was like
theme.
The theme was good, but they didn't do it that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like kind of a little bit like what you're trying to.
And Meryl Streep underdid being like a female version of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He's sort of he's not a very male version of himself, but he's he's not very masculine. He tries to be. He's way more outrageous than that, and a parody's supposed to be more outrageous than the subject matter.
Yeah.
And he wasn't outrageous. She wasn't outrageous enough, but it would have overshadowed the whole movie if she was. So they
it would have been like too obvious.
Yeah, it would have. Well, yeah, made a whole thing about her character. So I don't care about that movie. I wish I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You care about the one from when Sammy Davis Jr. was a boy president or whatever?
It's racist. It's just an interesting. Don't put this on.
Okay. Just skip to the next topic.
I know it's offensive and racist. It's Rufus Jones for president. Imagine he was president. I don't want to talk about this.
Okay, what about...
It was racist, and I'm very appalled by it.
Yes, that's right. But you like those, there's like weird things in like old-timey movies and stuff where they got away with like weird little...
Yeah, back in even the 70s, they got away with more racist and homophobic stuff.
Yeah.
They could swear less, but they could say racial slurs more or homophobic slurs more. But they could have less sexual things.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Because some censorship went ahead more and some went back. So yeah, and it's all hypocrisy anyway, because anybody can figure. There's a new thing where you can't say gay in schools. It's absolutely medieval. You can't say. You can't teach kids about gay people in schools.
You're supposed to say LGBTQ, right?
No, you can't even say that.
You can't even say that?
No, they don't want you to mention it at all, or they'll have a sue the teacher or fire him or her.
So is that like more of a conservative?
Yeah,
is it supposed to be like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, or is it
like don't ask, don't tell?
Right. So if we change the language, we'll just get rid of the.
They think they're too young to learn about transgender
and like pronouns
and even gay people. Transgendered is a little complicated for very young children. People will think it's offensive. But they could learn that they could just say it in very plain language. They change their sex with surgery.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
yeah.
I don't know how kids would see that. Little 3 or 4. We're getting in a very touchy subject.
Well, did you want to get into
said we can't even talk about gay people. They said you can't even mention the gay, not transgender.
But yeah, that is like a hot button.
Yeah.
Issue, right?
There's a lot of really stupid.
At what point are kids able to decide that kind of thing, and when is it okay to talk about it?
I don't. Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
I once heard these 11-year-old kids saying, "I'm all for gay marriage. I think it's great," but he was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Oh, it's so cool. All those gays should really," but he was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're a child and you, depending on what you grow up around, right, you absorb it a little bit.
Children should know about gay people because there are a lot of, 10% of the population is gay. Mm-hmm. So they should know that they're attracted. They say they love someone. They're attracted to someone else too. Yeah, not just love. There's more to being gay than love. Is sexual attraction. Mm-hmm. Duh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the idea is the more you can sort of introduce that stuff as, the more you try to hide that stuff, then that sort of, I think it'd be less of a big deal. The more you try to hide it, then there's like.
I really want to talk about how the healthcare system makes everything so difficult and with paperwork.
That's true.
I just said it. That's the healthcare system.
Is that your whole point?
That was,
the whole thing?
That's more substantial than talking about some catchphrase that some movie said or something.
Okay, so we'll do the hard issues here.
Yeah, things that
the
are
difficult
not about
issues.
show business.
Okay. Sure.
The healthcare, they treat people don't know how to treat old people. They make everything too hard with paperwork. When people are going to an emergency room, they're usually in misery, and that's when they pile on the paperwork. Other countries don't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Sweden hardly has any paperwork.
America has like terrible healthcare.
Yeah, I know. I have a friend who says it's the best in the world. He's exactly wrong. Yeah. It's terrible. And he says, then why do they come from other countries to America? They come to Massachusetts because it's better in Massachusetts than the rest of the country. But they're rich. The people who come to Massachusetts for medical procedures are rich. It's the poor people that are screwed in America for the health. Yeah, healthcare is pretty good for rich people in America, but not for poor people.
Right. If you have the good insurance.
Poor people than rich people. Mm-hmm. So it's like. The whole mindset these days is never kick a man unless he's down. If he's already down, then kick him and make it worse.
Well, and dental too.
Add insult to surgery. Yeah.
Add insult to surgery.
Yeah.
Insult to injury in the emergency room.
Thanks for that.
But like dental is always. I know. I'll leave the jokes to.
Well, it didn't add anything to it. It's okay. Dental and mental are all I know. Yeah.
You should call the show Experimentally ILL, is what you said to me years ago, I think. Yeah.
I don't think I said that.
Yeah,
it's a good name.
I remember I was at our friend Mary's party, and somebody said we were looking for sponsors for the show, and somebody said you should hit up dentists because I guess they have a lot of expendable income or something to do things like that with the arts too.
Yeah, there was some horror movie that hit up doctors and dentists to Evil Speak, a movie called Evil Speak, and it was financed by doctors and dentists, and it was called Leisure Time Acting.
Yeah, and my instructor in my writing class they said like people who have that expendable money, they like giving stuff to the arts. It's like a write-off or something. So yeah.
Also, rich people have a very weird idea about art. They glorify it, but they put the artist in a ditch, but they put the art on a pedestal. Yeah. Yeah.
Is another point to that, like trying to, do you have a hard time, like, when you put, like, a sort of value on the man hours of like, art? Like,
people don't know what artists go through. They think just because you have talent, it's easy. Some people think it's easy just if you... Having talent means that you can do it easily. No.
Yeah.
No. And they try to pay artists as little as possible, but what else is new? Everything's unfair.
Right.
So and they put pressure on artists to do things, but they don't make it easy for them with physical help or financial help. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's always, even when we were doing like video editing, it was always like stuff like that too. Like, can't you just whip something up for us?
I know. Just pound out some movies. Yeah. Just pound them out. And anybody who wants the help just wants to be in front of the camera.
Right, for like vanity.
For vanity, yeah. They hardly ever want to be behind the camera. Mm-hmm. So it's vanity and insanity. Mm-hmm. It makes me want to do profanity.
Does it?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
You can say anything but cunt.
You already said it.
All right.
We got out of our system. What was I gonna say?
It's a little better if you call men cunts than women.
Right. Yeah. No, the C word is that's like the worst to women. I think
there's nothing comparable to men that they get so upset about. If you say
like the taint or something,
cock or something, it's not offensive to men as the C word. I'll say the C word from now is to women. Yeah. But it's always about words. Our culture is too superficial. Everybody worries about words. They should worry about what actions, what people do to other people.
Right. Like the cancel culture now is like, oh, we found like tweets you made like 10 years ago.
You should set up because the camera's too high up and it looks badly framed.
Where you made, like they'll find some movie director like, oh, you made like profane tweets from like 10 years ago. So now we're going to like fire you now because of that or something.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, I just mean like to your point about like language, like somebody could have misspoke or made a joke or something that 10 or 15 years ago.
Like Dustin Hoffman's, not that it matters too much, but his career, I guess it matters. His career is ruined because he made some sexual come on to some woman. It wasn't sexual harassment. It was just an off-color joke, and she had him brought to trial and everything. And it ruined his career, Dustin Hoffman. He did some good movies, Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah, one of your favorite movies.
Yeah. And now his career, whatever, is pretty much ruined. So,
well, he's an older actor now too, where he.
I know he is. I know.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, but it makes people think of his past career differently, also.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing too. Do we talk about like how can you sort of like love the art without loving the artist?
There's some terrible people who do some great art.
Yeah.
Hitler was an artist.
Yeah.
That's the best example of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George W. Bush painted.
He actually wasn't terrible, George W. Bush. He had originality. Hitler was pretty bad.
That's good. We should just isolate that clip.
Yeah, he was bad on the realm of death camps and artwork.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's true.
Anyway, and there are some really bad people. All right, the opposite. There are some really
people who aren't good at art.
People who are not good at any of the arts. But all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you feel like you were spoiled growing up around you with having a family of artists, or do you think that you would have done it anyway?
I've been the opposite of spoiled.
Right. You had a hard life.
Yes. Wah.
It's the Wambulance.
Yeah.
You were saying earlier, I guess.
I'm trying to make it into a joke.
Right. Better to laugh than to cry.
Yeah. And so, what else do you want to talk about?
Didn't you try to do sculpting too when you were younger?
Yeah.
But it never became like it.
I did it when I was in my whole life. I did a few sculptures. Yeah.
And you just wanted to do more.
We left them in the house that we sold.
Yeah.
We had nowhere to put them. Sometimes I wish I could do that, but I don't. It smells and it's hard to set up. What we're doing now is hard to set up.
Right.
You
Everything's
have no
hard.
idea how tiny this room is.
I've seen tinier rooms.
Don't say that. I want them to think it's...
You want to get maximum sympathy.
It's like a rich person's walk-in closet. That's about how big it is. Yeah.
That's right.
It feels like a jungle in here, like Trump. Not like Monk says.
Like the theme of Monk.
Yeah.
It's a jungle. That's funny.
I don't like that show that much anymore.
I can't believe they won't revive that show. I liked it.
I liked it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And the first.
I like him. I think Tony Shalhoub's a good actor, and it was an interesting character.
He'll do anything for money. He does. He was in a lot of bad movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's old now. He's like 68 or 70. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about it?
No, he's good.
Yeah.
They brought him back. They did a Monk thing because of the pandemic or something, right?
They did a little video of him. I don't care.
All right, let's talk about your favorite subject yourself. Again, another thing we did.
I care about how they treat like people who are poor and all right. I'm getting poor and old, so it's about me. It's about me. But you're gonna say that if
no, but it's right. Like you say, when people don't know how to take care of like older people, and like presumably everybody is heading that way.
They treat people who already have bad luck like shit, which to give them more bad luck.
Right. And I was gonna say, like I remember like Mass Health, like the lowest rung of like insurance here, like they just cut some dental. You know, they like dental. It seems to be always the thing they cut, and then the cliche thing is like a poor person with bad teeth. You know, it's like that's how the system goes. You know? So
I read that croutons aren't covered by food cards, what used to be food stamps, because they're toasted. And it has to be uncooked.
That's food. Right. You're not allowed to buy hot food with.
But you can't even buy cold croutons in some places. So anyway, but croutons are considered elegant. So, but you can't get, I guess, toast. You can't get like things made out of toast that aren't even cold, and they're not even hot anymore.
They can't have touched any kind of heater.
Do you think edible panties are covered by food stamps?
Let's hope.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Candy and soda is covered.
Yeah.
But I think we found out when we visited the famous Quick Stop convenience store from Kevin Smith's movie Clerks, the convenience store he worked in. We saw that they do not accept EBT or food stamps.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't have any coffee or instant coffee, or it was pretty shitty place.
And the machines don't work right. You have to keep doing them over and over, and the machines don't work good. Mm-hmm. But there's no point. I don't know why people expect everything to work well. Yeah. Things don't work well. That's life.
Well, and we were talking about too, like, I guess expecting like the social workers to always be understanding.
Yeah, they're not going to be. They don't even remember what you talked about last time.
I think that's like a problem in the system. Like they have 17 different clients or something.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of different clients. They just, if they don't know, I shouldn't talk about this.
It's going to get too personal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm stifled.
What's another thing? Like, I know you don't like going backwards too much.
Everything important I can't talk about because it'll scandalize someone. Yeah. So all I can talk about is like
pop culture stuff,
catchphrases, and actors I don't care much about. And yeah,
you were like, I can't believe that other person was in that other thing I saw.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. One actor was in another show in two shows. Right. They never do that. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But it is really kind of pacifies us. I mean, like, movies are a great escape, and there is an art to it, but too much, like, the advent of streaming and you can get all this stuff on demand.
Too much of everything.
You can binge watch your life away, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. You should binge live instead.
Yeah, DL.
Yeah, just unplug everything and roll around in the grass. That's
with your feet, with your shoes off.
Yeah. Soon, like the computers, the rooms that the computers are in the floors are gonna collapse. And
wasn't that your worry a few years ago that they would stop the maintenance to the buildings and it would just collapse?
Of any place, not this place only.
Right.
Any place that I want to make a movie where in the future everything is ignored except the computer. And then they say, you have to fix my floor. I say, no, not a website about a floor, an actual physical wooden floor. And then he falls through the floor and dies.
That's the end of the movie.
Yeah. He falls down several flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's some other stuff that we did? You did the radio shows with us in the morning time.
I didn't get to say what I wanted.
On it. What do you want to say now other than disparaging people?
I don't know. Like Lawrence set me up for things, but it made him look stupid. He said, "You're a master of deciding what occupation people should be in. What about Biff from Back to the Future?" And I never said that I was a master of that. So I said, I think he should be an actor. And then Lawrence said, an actor, that's really smart. He's already an actor. That's the stupidest. I never said I could do that.
I don't even remember that. You have like a encyclopedic memory.
Only, yeah.
Only for negative things.
Only for negative, yeah.
Do you remember when we went and toured your movies around on stage, right? That was another thing. We went to the Provincetown Art House.
Yeah, and I got like one person in the audience, and I didn't give a very good introduction, and you said real smooth, but there was only one person there, and he wasn't even listening.
I thought I said, like, if these walls could talk, they would say good things.
Yeah, and then the guy left because he was embarrassed that he was the only one person there.
Yeah, I know. Like, how did he Did he like climb out on his hands and knees to avoid seeing us, or how did he?
He just left. He was embarrassed that he was the whole audience. So.
I like the one. Was that the P-Town or was that the what was the cable car one?
It was Providence.
Yeah. But there was the one where the guy in the audience stood up and asked you about the music in their movies.
Oh, don't talk about that.
Okay, well, I won't talk about it if you don't want. And then you got to the early Golden Sounds rock shows was done as like a variety show where you remember Dan Lucal, the host, he like interviewed you and there was like a crowd of people there. One of them was funny, the other one was terrible. Yeah. Oh yeah, what was the one with the lobster?
Oh, he got in trouble for that, but I don't care. It's 10 years ago. He chopped up a lobster and got in a lot of trouble and got suspended. I don't know. Maybe I'll get in trouble for getting him in trouble. I don't care. I don't think
so. I think it was like a performance art.
Like 10 years ago.
Thing you thought. I don't know.
Yeah. I have a video of that. Yeah, I have that. It was nauseating because he made lobster and then bologna and mayonnaise and put it all together. It was disgusting.
I think I used to do cameras for that show, and I think I must have missed that.
They killed a live lobster, and the girl was crying who killed it, and they were laughing.
What did she think was going to happen? That she was like, why would she do it then?
They were high.
They were high or drunk.
Dan was high when he filmed it. Yeah. And he's not no rocket scientist anyway.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Cut that out.
I remember we did.
He's very smart.
Yeah. He's an artiste. Yeah. He had some weird videos. I remember. Yeah, that's in front of a live audience.
Smart, and he's a good person. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah. Did you read some of your Letter Bandits book, or did you read some palindromes? For that show.
Well, yeah, I read that. Yeah, I did some short palindromes, like amoral anal aroma.
Yeah. You must have video of those shows. Yeah. Because you always get copies.
Yeah, on crappy DVD, so I'd have nothing better than I don't have it on anything.
We'll have to get a DVD ripper and get those files up there.
And it won't look very good because it's only on DVD, and I'm sure nobody cares. Right. It's getting too technical.
It's too inside. It's inside baseball.
Well, we talked a long time. This was a fucking long. You can be too creative, you know. You can be too productive.
A couple more minutes.
You can be too productive.
We have to make up for the lost time.
Yeah, there is a thing called being too productive.
Okay, well they're hungry for new DL content.
Let's lie around and do nothing.
We need to lie around and eat Funyuns and watch movies.
When you're high.
Yeah. Only medicinally high.
Jesse Pinkman. Yeah.
What is it? Oh, talk about. Don't you like Breaking Bad? Right?
Yeah,
want to talk about that?
Yeah, but a lot of people know it's a good show. I don't need to add to that.
That was a big deal in one of my screenwriting classes. Like the structure of that. Like even the pilot of Breaking Bad, he has like a full arc. You know, in the show, you know, he goes from the mild-mannered teacher to like. It even says in the script like Walt is a badass.
Yeah. They got enough. They got enough acclaim. I don't need to add anything.
We'll talk about the more obscure stuff of your own. Yeah. What are some underrated things they should see? Are there things that you would recommend more people see?
I can only think of a few songs. "Women and Men" by They Might Be Giants is an underrated song. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
Both Sides Now.
So that's very famous.
That's a famous song.
Summer Rain, but that's pretty famous by Johnny Rivers. Mm-hmm. Is a better song than the amount of.
And the one good song that came out of the 80s, DL, according to you.
Well, I was just joking. There's probably 3 or 4. Come On Eileen. Yeah. But there's a few other ones. There's Wild Wild West by the Escape Club. Mm-hmm. That was 19. That's a good. There's a few, but hardly any. Yeah. The 80s sucked. Yeah. It wasn't much.
The 80s sucked for music, but people, you never got into like hair metal and
the
classic 80s.
No, sometimes I don't feel like listening.
Madonna, pop,
no,
pop shit
sucks. I don't. Sometimes you're in a bad mood and you don't want to hear it.
Do you listen to music like around the house and stuff?
Yeah. Or? So what? Yeah.
What are you listening to now lately?
I have tinnitus ringing in my ears, so I play the same CD over and over on repeat, very kind of quietly, so I can sleep.
Yeah. What music is it?
This is weird, but Old Girl by the Shy Lights. It doesn't matter if it's an African-American group. It doesn't matter.
I don't know who that is. I'll have to look it up.
That's a beautiful song. And How Can I Be Sure by the Rascals. And why do I have to promote other people's already success?
Well, you can talk about your own shit, because I'm trying to talk about your own shit, and then you don't want to talk about it. You made Super 8 movies as a kid.
Yeah, I made over 200 political cartoons. I know politics is an unpleasant subject, especially with Trump, but that's something I did. I made 200 political, and I had a children's book published. So that was a long time ago.
Right, Letter Bandits.
Yeah. I think the way people treat poor people is horrible in this country. Yeah. That's more important.
The class war stuff is still going on.
Yeah, it's like if you're already have bad luck and a bad quality of life, they want to make it worse.
Yeah,
it's like
prejudice against disabled people,
old, poor, or combinations of that: poor and old, disabled and old.
Right.
Yeah. It's horrible, and it's you should be trying to help people like that, you know.
And some people have like a class. Some people get treated as second-class citizens in their own family.
Yeah.
I won't say who.
But the initials are Mike O'Toole.
Yeah. Right.
So, okay.
That's funny.
Okay.
It's true.
You thinking I should take the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like if I give it to you, I'll never get it back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
But it's important to me. I don't like the stupid crap that people do to each other. They don't think about try to see things from other people's point of view, or take the long term. They assume everything is the way it looks. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that we're out of video?
No, it's just flashes like that.
We've been talking a long time.
Yeah.
But that's important to me, is that people are very unself-aware, but this sounds provocative, but a lot of people are not very smart. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, it's the truth. They're
not very introspective, either, like you say.
They're not real. They're delusional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably delusional in some ways, but they're delusional.
So you kind of find a coping strategy in life, and people end up sticking to it. That's not everybody.
People like Trump, they're delusional about him. They say, he's a tad opinionated, but he's a monster. He's a evil sociopath. But they just think things that aren't true, you know, or the opposite of the truth. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone's gonna be gung ho about going to therapy and getting that insight. From another person. Yeah. So
we're making an ending, so we have closure.
Yes. DL has confided in us.
Yeah. It's important we have closure. I just want to think.
This is the end of our session, DL, I guess.
I just want to say, I know it's obvious that the world is unfair, and I'm complaining about it, but that's what I want to do. Things.
It's your soapbox.
My soapbox, and it won't change anything, and other people already know this, but it needs to be said anyway. So.
But you're using your voice. Yeah. Power of independent media, right?
Yeah, and I'm making a big 8-frame cartoon.
Did you want to talk about the latest thing you're doing, or you don't want to reveal the secrets?
It's not a secret. I just don't think I should talk about half-finished things. But
people want to know about your process, though.
Sometimes I turn the paper in different directions so the shading will look fresh. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's a lot of people don't like cartoons with a lot of words in them, but I don't care. I have important things to say in it sometimes.
I know now these days you do some Photoshop, but most of the time it's by hand, right? What materials do you usually use?
Bristol board and colored pencil, and occasionally acrylic a little. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to show the half-finished thing. It's right there, but it's out of frame. I don't know. What else should I'm just trying to keep busy, and I can't make films that often, So this is an exception. This little interview. So I'm doing artwork, and it has a lot of writing in it. So I'm doing writing too. There's a lot of word balloons and text in it.
Right, like a comic.
Yeah, it's like
book thing.
So it doesn't have to be exactly like anything, but I guess it is like a adult
like a comic book panel,
graphic novel, but not with much superhero stuff. It's a troll, not a Superman. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
you also did, what was the Twilight Zone one you did?
Yeah. I worked really hard on that one. You can see it online. What should I describe it? It's too small to show on there. It's a parody of a very famous episode with a kid who puts everybody in the cornfield. It's very famous for old people, mostly. And the little kid is Donald Trump, the little monster who wishes everybody who's evil and wishes everyone into the cornfield. He wishes Fauci into the cornfield. Mm-hmm. So I sent it to Rod Serling's daughter, and she said, "Indeed." That's all she said. A little funny. She could have said more and given me a recommendation.
Did you turn the GoPro off? Maybe it died.
It did. We're done.
This comes from myself. Okay, I'm trying to extend. I'm beating a dead horse. So I think it was good.
Ending. It went off anyway.
Well, I got it on audio. We got it on yours.
We're done. This has been a scintillating, compelling, whatever the adjectives are, interview.
Yeah. Well, it was fun getting together and working on stuff with you again today, D.L.
I hope we didn't bore anybody, because that's all that matters in entertainment is that it's entertaining.
Right.
So
it's arts and entertainment. So
yeah, I just think people should not treat people like shit when we already have leaders who treat everybody like shit. Mm-hmm. And on that note, I'll end. So there. Okay. All right.
Well done. Okay. So check out D.L Polonsky on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And check out myself and this podcast, Experimentally Ill, on experimentallyIll.com. And
check out you to promote yourself.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all over the place. Stitcher. I have a TikTok page. I haven't done too much with it, but on social media, it's Instagram is Michael P. O'Toole, and Twitter and Facebook and stuff, it's just Mike O'Toole. So. Yeah. Check it out. Where there is an ill, there is a way. So be part of the experiment right here. Episode 108. Thank you.
Daddy, I think he's lost his mind. He's never been like this before. Tonight he was almost raving.
What did you say?
Oh, crazy things. That he's some kind of a spaceman, and that they're taking over the Earth, and that we're all going to die.